Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. I have a highlight match for you from Dreamhack Masters Europe, everyone's favorite Terran versus Zerg, and you should recognize both these players from whatever game they're playing. Let me first introduce to you in the bottom right, the fastest player in StarCraft 2 with an average of 10 actions per second, 600 per minute, the Zerg. It is Reynor. Apparently his name comes from the Italian misspelling of the main character in StarCraft 2, but not the only one to be inspired by StarCraft 2 units or characters. No. Also with a similar level of originality and a nearly capable level of skill. Let me introduce not the Age of Empires 4 player, no, but showing his true colors here. It is MarineLord. We've had Marine King, we've had Marine Prince, we've had Marine King Prime, and a dozen. Baby Marine. Wait, is that Reynor's brother? Or is that Pig's brother? Generations of StarCraft 2 at this stage. Yes, Reynor has a brother who's a Grandmaster Terran. Well, he has yet to succeed his brother, so we will see the drama when that ensues. Speaking of drama, MarineLord has opted for a command center first here on Lightshade. Reynor has opted for the spawning pool, which you might think gives him a good opportunity stacking up here. And it does. Assuming MarineLord continues that reactor. The thing about going command center first, that means that Reynor now has no opportunity to cancel or delay the CC. Oh my god, the Zergling got in. Well, the Zergling standing right on top of the depot. We can't raise the depot, it's far too heavy. The SCVs are pulled. And while this shouldn't do critical damage, SCVs being pulled at all is already a good thing here for Reynor. Gets a lot of scouting, but the thing is, sometimes the best defense is being greedy. Not so much the offense. And in this case, being immensely greedy and going for the command center first against a committed all-in, sure, you'd be limited on your unit count. But in this case, Reynor not really able to do much besides annoy a few SCVs, and only because he was able to get a Zergling on top of that depot. Overall, MarineLord going to be in a pretty comfortable spot economically against the Italian Stallion. He's got a third hatchery on the way on the low ground, but when you don't go for the hatch first, you don't get as much larva as quickly. You don't get the ever-valuable queens, and Reynor is a big hashtag Yas Queens player, as we know. But Queen's not going to have nearly as much... I'm sorry, but not going to have nearly as much of a place against the mass bio build that MarineLord... I mean, his name is MarineLord. I'm not saying it's like Pokemon where, well, MarineLord, and then you just go for the drops. No. But there's obviously a style he's comfortable playing. And it is lording over his Marines. I don't think a MarineLord well, there's another French Terran that steals the show on many occasions, but MarineLord is the second best player in France. But it is quite a hill to climb, the match climb. Alright, so this is a not improvised, but modified 2-1-1. He's got the command center, but it looks like he's going to be getting the medevacs out at a similar timing to if he went 1 racks expand. The command center is already paying off. Look at the worker count. He's got 38 SCVs before 5 minutes. Reynor, of course, no slouch. With the larva inject, able to get 50 drones so far. He's really, like, the Zergling scouted. The one thing that you can't do with command center first is attack. You just don't have any units. You spent 400 minerals on a command center. That's not barracks, that's not factories, and other important facts of things that a command center is not make sure to like and subscribe. The lair is finishing up. Reynor adding on the double evolution chamber, which implies he's going to go double upgrades as opposed to straight into a spire, but baneling speed is always a premium choice. And Reynor using it now. The Marines are dropping out. Light Shade, always a... the focal point of the map is the plateaus on either side. The staging area for tank pushes and medevac drops, and potentially lurker attacks. Now, sees where the queens are. MarineLord picks up and darts towards the main. How did I miss Hero Marine, by the way? When I was going through the Marine-related names, I missed Hero Marine. I am so sorry, Big Gabe. I forget his immense presence is always with us. And sometimes that's why it feels like a force of nature as opposed to a human being. Not quite as perfect target fire as his French counterpart. And will be forced to pick up his MarineLord. Almost flying right into the knitting crew here. Brenda and the gals. Looking for some... is that... Did he build Hellions for Hellbats after the Marine push? I mean, an interesting time. I mean, the Hellbats are quite tanky. I don't even mind it here. You guys know my my thoughts on Hellbats usually, but the fight begins. The banelings trying to chew through. Not enough for now. A couple more Hellbats join the fray. And with the banelings crashing through, will force the pickup. He has to get up and get out. I kind of like that. Hellbats are kind of the bouncers at the front. A buffer zone between the Marines and the banelings. 1, 2, finds 3. There's the targeting. And the main base suddenly immensely vulnerable. The Hellbats kept the Marines intact, and they serve their purpose. Gunning down the banelings as they have the audacity to come through, find the evolution chamber, and deny. Is the +1 melee attack. The Queen snipe one of the medevacs, but there's no creep to the Brenda! One job! We've been... How many times? God. Oh, it's been so many years of this. Zerg players neglecting the creep to their natural. But the Marines have suffered enough, and most of them will be ripped to shreds by the surviving Zerglings. But that attack I would call an immense success. Now, MarineLord delayed his upgrades for it, so he needed to do damage. And that means he doesn't have as strong of a potential follow-up. Oh my god, the tactical goop. The contaminate on the reactored starport means not as many units. Oh, a Widowmine cuts off a baneling counterattack. But with the denial of +1 melee, with the slaughter of 9 defenseless drones, and with some pushback on the creep spread, MarineLord now has a bit of a worker deficit, but before was nearly even. Let's look at the incomes, and with the power of mules, we're almost dead even here. So, while it wasn't a resounding and one-sided attack, it was still a success for MarineLord. He created space, he got his third base established safely, he's now on the way to his upgrades with an armory, and slowing down Reynor was a huge part of this. The Queen still looking to slow things down as well on their side. The transfuses keeping them intact while the banelings and Zerglings get into position. Another set of pickups. MarineLord gonna try to assert himself on the map on both sides. The Queen's on their own. The DPS of the Marines is just a little too high. Reynor splits against the Widowmine, but more creep gonna be cleared up on the northern flank. Just your usual on the way. M and everything that starts with it. Marines, Mines, and Medevacs are the order of the day against Lings and Banes. And whatever Queens Reynor can muster. Looks like a couple Banelings were hit. A Widowmine found a connection. Another mine. The detection is starting to become spread very thin. One bad Widowmine hit. We're at that stage of the game. MarineLord actually has more supply. He has 101 to 64 army supply. which means right now Reynor is in a very precarious position. He is one Widow Mine away from his back being broken despite the Carapace upgrades. The Overseer waiting for another Contaminate opportunity. A few banelings slice away at the Marine count, but another drop on the right flank picks up to the high ground, looking for more. The banelings forced back. MarineLord pressing in on both sides, but Reynor looking for the deflection. More banelings negating the Widow Mines. Drop back to the low ground. Yes, this is one player on either side, believe it or not, my MOBA friends. Reynor wrapping around. He's got baneling mines now to match the Widow Mines. Picks up into the medevacs in front of everything. Jimmy. Oh my god, it was so exciting we had to get a recap. So, the story so far. I can't believe you've done this, Jimmy. Please like and subscribe so we can afford to get a real producer. This commercial break brought to you by your amazing support this holiday season. Thank you. Back to the action. Drilling claws finishing up. Marines dancing back and forth. Widow Mines not finding the connections. Reynor able to defuse. The medevacs pick up and get out on this last episode of MarineLord versus Reynor. Oh, the baneling mine, so obvious yet so potentially juicy. No, the juice is now squeezed. That don't worry about it. Widow Mine's taking some chunks out. Maybe one baneling will connect. No, doesn't manage to make its way through, but the Hydras have joined the field, and the Hydras with some DPS on the back line will be able to shoot over the tops of the Lings and Banes and actually start picking off the Marines. MarineLord no longer with the overwhelming critical mass advantage. His army is no longer the strongest one, the more there is, as Hydras change that equation by giving the Zerg army some range damage. A hive is on the way. A lurker den should be joining it momentarily in order to give some more stopping power to the Zerg army. Those are changelings screwing me up on the minimap. Melee attack on the way. 3 more racks, a 4th and a 5th and a 6th and a 7th command center for MarineLord. Wait, is that right? Yes! Oh, the Marines are being surrounded. He's gotta get out! MarineLord down 20 supply as he got cornered between a rock and a hard place. And down he goes as we sprint into the late game. Oh, come on. One time. One time. Reynor sees it. Come on, give it to me. Thank you. Yeah, with the baneling mine, it takes the wind out of the sails of this particular drop. Everything in production right now. Everything across the board. Upgrades, units, command centers. As well as Lurker Den, Hydra's Queen. Reynor not producing more because he's supply blocked like a noob. But less I can do, but 196 over 196. Lurker Den on the way. I've seen the Zergs, and by Zergs I mean Cyril and Reynor mostly, adding on the Lurker Den well after Hive Tech. As Lurkers just, for the sake of Lurkers, before they get their upgrades, and before you're able to get some map control, are easy to outmaneuver or pick apart. Lurkers, when you can pin the Terran back in their base and then eviscerate them, yeah, that's better. 2 command centers looking juicy right there, but also creating a choke point. Snipes coming out. Ghosts already on the field. And, of course, a fusion core. Advanced ballistics, but maybe, just maybe, battle cruisers. Probably not battle cruisers, but who knows. Oh my god. Reynor looking for an opportunity. Baneling mines across the field. Banelings coming through, and he flanks with a back. MarineLord reacts quite quick. He picks up the banelings from underneath. He picks up from underneath. Yeah, that makes sense. No building armor means the planetary's somewhat vulnerable. The SCVs pulled to repair. The Hydras are enough, though. And cut through. Meanwhile, a fight to the northern flank. Full energy Vipers wanna regroup with the army here. Advanced ballistics on the way. Liberator siege range. 10 SCVs down. But so many more to go. 70... a nuclear missile. From MarineLorD's. Sacre Bleu. Widowmine gets a juicy chunk. 356 Zerglings have died in the making of this game so far. With only 15 minutes, that's an amount of math I'm not willing to do per minute. I think the number's only going to get higher. 6 Liberators. Vive la liberté! Why am I yelling so much? But I appreciate when Terran players commit. I think a lot of Terran... Oh, beautifully appeased! MarineLord with a great fight on the high ground! Liberators on one side and units on the other. The Zerg is too much. I'm getting excited for how MarineLord is playing. I'm saying, I think a lot of Terrans just do not give Liberators the chance they deserve. What I mean is they'll get like 3 or 4 and be like, well, I guess Liberators aren't the answer. Yeah, you made 12 supply of Liberators, so let's try 20, 30, 40 supply. There's 20 lurkers on the field. 4 Liberators are not gonna cut it. But a dozen, that might be it. Meanwhile, the Vipers have to find some more energy. The burrowed Zerglings, Reynor all over the place with that. So APM continually growing as the unit count does in the economies. The baneling mine serving as dual-purpose scouts, distractions for Reynor, and for potentially a big hit later on. Not much in the way of defenses. We're cutting the map vertically. It does seem. More Hydraslings and Banes crashing into what was once the third. A Venn diagram of freedom. A nuclear missile unleashed on the backline. Wait, there's 11 drones on this. Wait, does he notice? Does Reynor notice? He's losing a base. MarineLord doing damage at the same time. Beautiful nuke. Gonna find 19 drones alongside whatever else he got at 2 bases. MarineLord with the strategical plays, hitting every side. That's how you gotta do it. You don't just throw nukes out there for the sake of it. You combine with an attack, as Reynor is, for good reason, incredibly distracted. MarineLord right now outclassing Reynor on every front. He's not abusing ghosts. He's just using them to move Reynor out of position. He's only got a handful of ghosts because there's only a handful of lurkers to snipe. I'm really loving the way MarineLord is playing this right now. Reynor, on the other hand, not really able to find a decisive engagement. MarineLord on the baneling nest. It goes down, but there's plenty of banelings already. Liberators turning around. That's a lot of Zerg, but it's also quite an asphyxiating choke point. Banelings finally crash through into the Marines, and Reynor will clean this army up, but at what cost? I'm loving the way MarineLord is playing, but Reynor is still Reynor at the end of the day. Put that on a postcard or a Facebook meme. Either way, depending on what audience you're trying to... It's probably the same audience for both, now that I think about it. Yes, your mother is what I'm talking about, as I often do. But with 4 corruptors on the way, Reynor's looking for a direct response to the Liberators, as at this point, well, he should. He's only at +2 melee and +2 ranged attack. He's just now getting adaptive talons, lurker, speed, and speed burrow. MarineLord, on the other hand, has not gone unscathed. He's lost 11,000 less minerals, over half a base. And he's lost 1,000 less gas. A little closer on that one. Oh my god. Got mules. Just, you know what, Jimmy? Just stay on this for a bit. Sweet. Income. Oh my. Small loan of 1 million minerals. Oh, shit. Alright, there's a cap. Only 1 mule can mine per patch. I think MarineLord dropped to 8. What a genius. Anyways, huge fight. By the way, the real fight is in the income tab. Honestly, more accurate than I'm giving myself credit for. As right now, no single engagement should end the game, but it may set the tone and define how the next engagements will play out. Because right now, both players are mined out of their main, most their natural. The third and fourth are one way or another drying out. So any engagement that ends decisively one way or another will give that player the advantage going forward. It will make it a lot easier to do follow-up, continued attacks onto that location. But those banelings have been waiting for 10 minutes. They wait no longer. How many lurkers? He's got 8 lurkers on the field, 5 ghosts, 8 liberators, the relevant numbers here. Everything getting cleared out. MarineLord's starting to grab this half of the map. More scans. Looking for opportunities. Even some bunkers. I love this, by the way. I never see enough late game bunkers, especially once they get the Neo Steel armor upgrade, which... Hey! Oh. Neo Steel armor, the combined building and Neo Steel upgrade of old, as well as high-sec auto-tracking. It does give the 2 building armor as well as 2 slots in the bunkers. Oh, EMP. 2 EMPs landed and cleared the energy on those Vipers. All but one. One is dangerous. Finding snipes, looking for more, get some corruptors. Meanwhile, though, the bunker saves the day. Immediate payoff. Venn dia scan. But the liberators will force the lurkers to pull up and get out. MarineLord with a pretty dominant game so far. Has yet to close it out, though. Like, there's still a maxed out Zerg army, and it's still Reynor. It is a very tough Terran army to crack. But Vipers, as well as those lunkers, he yanks in 3 liberators, and then they will just kind of leave. So that's not the ideal. There's not that many snipes. There's just such a mass of lurkers here. There's not enough ghosts to snipe them. But he doesn't need to snipe them. He needs the liberators to drive them away. The bunker with stop position SCVs, but the banelings have had enough. Lurkers will burrow. Oh, no, 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 the wrong way! The bunker finally breaks. Neo Steel armor not done. Critical upgrade loss there. 6 more liberators. It reminds me of early Legacy of the Void, where liberators, before they got nerfed against air, just kind of countered everything. Liberators for air, liberators for ground. 28 liberators was not an unlikely army composition. We've moved on since then. Now a dozen seems more realistic. Actually, MarineLord's gonna have 16, so... A baneling will block the lane. Is that the main? No, no, no. It's an orbital from somewhere else. The lurker's looking to shred a planetary. I think they're gonna get it. Oh my. Really not that much damage. Just loving the armor upgrades, personally. MarineLord is... He has the minerals in the bank, which is always important for Terran at this stage. Reynor is pretty clearly scrambling. But if there's anyone who specializes in scrambling, it's Reynor. He's trying to get MarineLord to make mistakes. He's trying to drag him out of position and catch him in the act. And he just did, by the way. Almost missed it, but he sniped off several liberators. His Corruptor Viper Ball sharking in. Another nuke is on the way from MarineLord. another set of... the Liberator count is almost too high. Like, I was complimenting it, but at some point it becomes unwieldy. It becomes nearly impossible to make them useful without being vulnerable to parasitic bomb. But MarineLord has been driven off 2-3 more bases. Meanwhile, Reynor has grabbed 2 or 3 more of his own. He's got 62 to 43 workers, which sounds bad until you realize that's 150 supply of Terran. He has enough army to distribute it across the map and have a potent army on either side. But not so potent that he can deal with a few dozen lurkers altogether. He does need to he needs the Liberators and the Ghosts. He needs all the pieces of the puzzle together to solve this one. Yes, the Ghosts are using their snipes on the Corruptors, but that means they won't have as much energy for the Lurkers. But the Lurkers can't work without the Liberators being dislodged. As obviously, and much to their dismay, they cannot shoot up like their former selves. 4 Ghosts, 3 Vipers, 2 Corruptors, a Queen, and 2 very lucky Zerglings in production. The production tab, with the times of plenty have ended. The incomes are still pretty close to even, though Reynor definitely tilting in his favor. But the actual number on the incomes is no longer in the 4,000 or 5,000s that we saw, especially MarineLord at. The nuke, I love that, from the low ground. Let's go to the Reynor action cam. Oh my god, he doesn't see it. He hears it! He hears it! 10. Oh, he does it again! He fell for it again! You saw Reynor's camera. We were watching Reynor's camera. He was looking to the north. He heard the nuke. But guess what? This is where the real damage is dealt. MarineLord just annexed the southern half of the map. Reynor feels forced to go for something of an all-in. There's no detection! The Zerglings are trying to get a wraparound on the Ghosts. The Ghosts are pretty much out of energy either way. He's going to be able to snipe a couple. The Corruptor's in to deal with reinforcements. Reynor's putting all his eggs in this particular basket. He's been almost forced into it. 5 Vikings at a time here. Just something to help deal with all this. He's going to lose a lot of Liberators, is MarineLord. His army's been pretty much idle down here, as he's been scrambling to deal with the counterattack. Units will make their way back. MarineLord with some indecision. Reynor, a very decisive player. That is his big advantage in this stage. He's struggling to deal with MarineLord's army, but when he decides on something, he goes. MarineLord has been setting himself up for success, but Reynor is looking to rip it all down as soon and as quickly as possible if MarineLord makes a mistake. There's still some Ghosts in the mix, but the Infestor is everything. The Infestor is how he potentially breaks this very scary army. The Infestor moving into position. There are Liberators. One bad scan could end it all. Another base just taken down essentially for free. Reynor trying to put all the pieces together. Neither player has much mining. MarineLord. Whoa, 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 God. There's not that many minerals left. They've done a very efficient job of getting rid of the minerals on all the easy-to-take bases of the map. The Infestor is a very expensive scouting unit. There's only really one more base MarineLord's been able to mine from. He still has a strong standing army. The Planetary gonna rack up some lurker kills. Actually, did he retarget there? Stutter-stepping lurkers away from a Planetary is not something you see done very often. There are Vikings. Parasitic Bomb, though, gonna do terrible, terrible. He's not splitting! Oh my god! Terrible damage! Maximum! Oh my god! I have not seen a parasite. Oh no! Those are game-losing mistakes. I don't know if quite yet, but that was horrible. Wow, you just don't expect it. It doesn't stack, to be clear. But just the radius covered by parasitic bombs was disgusting. MarineLord, he's rounding third plate and he's heading home right now, but well, he kind of wins the fight without any Liberators. Reynor just gives up the base. Okay, I mean, Reynor's long-distance mining. I think there was a few Zerglings over here. Yeah, I was all excited about the air battle, but MarineLord just kind of walks over the ground battle. With less than a quarter medevac of HP between them. 2 medevacs survive. Reynor with another scramble. Using caustic spray. Oh, the Vikings have not been repaired. They'll easily be cleared. Reynor still just trying to pick MarineLord apart. We see Reynor just trying to hit every single angle MarineLord is not, but when MarineLord punches back, it's decisive. Not that many SCVs left. MarineLord is currently not mining. But that doesn't matter. Reynor didn't have much going for himself. Wow, what an ending. It all fell apart. There just wasn't anything left. Reynor had 1 mineral patch. He had 3 Zerglings. That is not 3 Zerglings, 3 Lurkers against 11 Ghosts. He just didn't have an army. Well, I haven't seen too many games that... Well, one, Reynor he understood his scenario a lot quicker than I think I did. Or probably you did out there. But wow. Just action up until the end. I want to thank these players for putting on such a show. I want to thank you for watching Dreamhack Masters, for hosting, and thank you for liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, checking out more. Check out that the one that's the one WinterStarcraft. Don't let the arrows draw you in. Okay. Unless I put it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this highlight match. Do you want to see more? Thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.